I'm very excited to be here at the Maritime SheEO, our industry's foremost think tank on the promotion of diversity. Thank you so much, Sanjam, for this opportunity. The journeys of no two women are identical. Each one of us travels through a huge cacophony of experiences, some phases of rough weather and others of calm sailing. And in everyone's story, there is a learning for each one of us, isn't it? The Maritime SheEO Conference brings together the best and the brightest minds to facilitate interchange of experiences, ideas, and strategies as we shape our careers and as our careers shape us. To my knowledge, the Maritime SheEO is the only forum of its kind that enables women in maritime to learn from each other and support each other. And very importantly, provides non female industry leaders an insight into the promotion of diversity. My story begins, as perhaps most of us do, with my mom. Mom was intelligent, highly educated with 4 degrees, simple looking, diminutive in physical stature, everything that an ideal girl of that generation was not. The result was a late marriage, fortunately to a loving and caring man, but unfortunately to a man who believed firmly that his duty was to provide and his wife's was to nurture. Period. No discussion allowed. And so I watched throughout my growing years my mom struggle to find an identity for herself outside of home and hearth, and to make some sense of all her learning and education lying unutilized, to ensure that her life does not pass by in kitchen chores. And as I watched, I learned. I learned patience, to bide one's time and find the right moment for every initiative. I learned resilience as her requests to work were turned down time and again, but she wouldn't let up. I learned perseverance as she would find new ways to convince my father to let her go out and earn. In the afternoons, when husband and kids were away, she would venture to many small industrial units to explore and to learn. How does a potato chip making machine work? How does a paper bag making machine work? And she would come home with documents and charts and pour over cash flow requirements. After which, she would disappear into the kitchen and bring out a scrumptious dinner for her family who were getting home from work and school. And from this, my friends, I learned balance and moderation. For career and home are two integral parts of our lives, one for our intellectual growth and the other for our emotional happiness. And I firmly believe that the relationship between the two is symbiotic. Each one helps us with the other, and a good balance is finally what makes for our happiness. I lost my mom early, before I was married. And one of the greatest lessons I learned from her was when she was on the hospital bed with kidney failure, which in those days was generally fatal. As an Indian woman, all of you will understand what I mean when I say that her biggest concern over her ill health was the marriage of her daughter. And what would happen to me were she to die. It was quite fortunate then that a family of doctors of high repute in the Middle East and family friends well known to us landed up at our home one morning with a marriage proposal for me with their doctor's son. My father asked me for my response, and frankly, I had no views. So I told him it was okay by me, whatever my parents felt was the best for me. The mood, as you can imagine, was then very positive, and all four of us left for the hospital to ask my mom for her opinion. I can still picture the scene as my mom lay there on her hospital bed, all manner of tubes going in and out of her, dialysis underway, as my father conveyed the proposal. His sense of urgency and of anticipation in that hospital room was palpable. And my mom, from her hospital bed, weakly raised her hands, put them together in a namaste, thanked the parents of the boy for their proposal, and firmly turned it down. She said, "My daughter will get married only after she completes her education, gets a job, and is financially independent." And so she stayed with me till I completed my education, got a job, but sadly passed on before I was married. Left me, she did, but she left me strengthened and confident that my future was in my hands and that I could shape my happiness by my decisions and my actions. And friends, always remember that our past is a lesson. Our past is an experience. It's a learning, but it is never a life sentence. We must learn to choose those learnings which are beneficial to us and make for our growth, and consciously examine and let go those which are harmful and prejudiced. I would urge each and every one of you, at whatever stage of life you are, through meditation, therapy, self help groups, whatever the tool that works for you, examine your personality traits through the lens of past experiences and let go any negative influences. I truly believe that this cleansing process clears a lot of debris from our minds and makes space for clearer thinking and growth. You know, friends, I often hear women complaining that society slots them into homemaker roles, that their family culture doesn't support them to grow, that there is a bias against women, that men always are given first preference over women in promotions at work, and so on and so forth. And I'm sure many of you would have come across this too. To such comments, I say that women are not any less capable than men. All of us know that. You and I know that. But how will the world know? We need to show up and we need to speak up. We need to grab passing opportunities and participate. And we need to get out of our comfort zones, be mindful, be unafraid, and show our capabilities. And I promise you, our initiatives and actions will command us respect. Respecting ourselves and being respected is one of the cornerstones of personal and professional growth. However, true respect doesn't come from our position and designation, does it? Respect comes from our actions and our results. We need to therefore be on a continuous, unending path of learning new skill sets and being up to date with our industry. So, how do we assess our growth in this? Some of the tools that I have used and I'd like to share with you. Firstly, to accept non job industry related tasks, which you can allocate some of your time outside of work. Membership of industry associations, guest lecture assignments, speaking at conferences, taking part in industry panel discussions. All of these require that we read up, research trends, and gain insights from others on maritime related topics that will expand our knowledge base. Secondly, I want you to think about the last time that you went to an industry conference. During the pre-conference drinks or the dinner, what was the conversation in the group that you were standing with? And what was your contribution? Were you mostly answering questions about family and kids? Were other men in the group being asked these questions? The next time you attend an industry event, at the pre-conference chat, Please open up a conversation about the latest happening in the industry and have a viewpoint that you can back up. Do that and see the impact on the group. How we present ourselves is most important. Did we hang out and group together with women? Did we visit the washroom together with other women? How often have you seen men go together to the washroom? Really? You and I know that it's harmless fun for us, but think about the image that we are presenting of ourselves as women to others. So here's the thing. Our male colleagues don't have to worry so much about their behavior, but we need to, for nothing other than that we need to slowly but surely change the subconscious notions that exist in the minds of others about lady team members. And this brings me to what I believe has been an important element in my career journey: to consciously de-genderize. I have to ask Sanjam whether there is any such word in the diversity parlance. When I say de-genderize, I mean through our behavior and our speech, remove attention from the fact that we are women. Strive always to respond as a professional, irrespective of gender. In the office, the image that we should have should be of a co-worker, a professional, a buddy, and our dressing, our mannerisms, our expression should all be conditioned towards that. I don't mean to be harsh, but if we want a level playing field with our male colleagues, we must present an image accordingly to our peers, our subordinates, and our superiors. When was the last time that you attended a meeting of co-workers and the canteen staff brought in a tray of coffee? In such a situation, remember, ladies, don't ever pour the tea. You are not a hostess just because you are the only lady in the meeting. When you are in a meeting planning an important event in the company, do not offer to arrange the gifts and the flowers. It's a role that we naturally adopt, but I am saying to you that we shouldn't. Instead, offer to handle the core meeting content related to your expertise area. It will behove us well to always demand that we are recognized only for our ability, only for our professional achievements, and not because we are ladies. All of you agree to this, right? I'm sure you all do. Then, why do we have conferences and award shows where smart-looking girls are employed to hand over the bouquets and the mementos on the stage? Why not boys, I say, or at least boys and girls? And why are invocation prayers always sung by ladies at maritime functions? Why not men? After all, the thousands of temples that we boast of in India are all manned by male priests, are they not? And to break this mold, we have to be brave. We have to be unafraid to speak our mind. So, when I was approached by a leading maritime publication to feature in their Women Achievers in Shipping page, I politely declined. My achievements, and all of you, all your achievements in this industry are top class. You do not need to be showcased on a page reserved for women. Our achievements are worthy of being profiled by the publication, irrespective of our gender, and not to be slotted in the women's section. Put us on the top page of the magazine, I say. Think about it. All right, so what's the way forward for each one of us? I'm going to put before you that one of the critical elements that will impact us is attitude. I'm sure you agree. Whose attitude? The attitude of our co-workers, our superiors, subordinate, our family, our industry colleagues, right? Who else? Who else's attitude matters in our journey? Yes, ladies, it's our own attitude. Our self-image, our behavior, which matters. How professionally are we presenting ourselves? What is the quality of ideas that we are offering up? Are we stepping up and are we showing up? So let's remember to always communicate through our official interactions that we are responsible, capable, and hardworking, to accept responsibility and to see it through to a successful conclusion. So, ladies, one important mantra is get out of your own way. And yes, there will always be the naysayers in our organizations, those that have 100 reasons to prevent opportunities from reaching women, those who find 1,000 different ways to downplay our achievements. And I'm sure that every one of you ladies here, all of us here, have a multitude of such experiences in our careers. But you know what? At the end of the day, when all is said and all is done, the organization values and rewards commercial benefit above all. For that, the purpose of every enterprise is profit. And if we keep our sights firmly on achieving this objective, not even our most evil critic can displace us or deny us our just rewards. Sometimes I wonder, have I been more fortunate than others in getting good bosses? Has it been my good luck to have found encouragement and opportunities? Perhaps, perhaps there has been a shade of destiny. But it is also true that we attract what we want and what we are ready for. And the responsibility also rests with us to choose equal opportunity employers and then meet the performance requirements of the organization. So let's move on to the last and very important aspect that I thought we should discuss, and this is leadership. I always believe that women are natural leaders. We are so good at multitasking, we are great at cost control, we are truly gifted at people management. Why then do we see so few women in leadership positions? All of you participating here are accomplished professionals in your fields. I would urge you all to be mindful and have a plan regarding your leadership path. And why is it so important that we take up leadership positions? Well, through our leadership positions, we can inspire and motivate other women. We can provide a good public image of our organization. We will be able to drive change in leadership positions. We will be able to increase acceptance of women leadership. There are so many reasons. But you know what is the most important reason for you to take up a leadership role? The most important reason is that you owe it to yourself. You owe it to your capabilities and your expertise, that it is not hidden behind doing roles which are unimportant. You owe it to all the hard work that you have put in all these years to bring yourself to where you are. So ladies, move forward and take your rightful place as a leader in the industry. And your rightful place is to be the boss lady. Go and do it. Thank you.